The conversation was interrupted and words became one, and even all became one. Then he said, "Hey you." Through him, I replied, "Hey me." He said, "You are the one, you are you." I replied, "I am I."
Now we are going to talk about Bayazid Bastami, one of the controversial Sufis in the history of Sufism. By the way, thank you for your support.
Bayazid Bastami is indeed well known for his ecstatic utterances, which are controversial for many Muslims. He is also regarded as the initiator of the doctrine of Ittihad, the mystical union. In a state of union, Ittihad, a Sufi only sees one wujud, even though there are actually two or many existents that are separate and different from each other. Because only one wujud is seen and felt in union, the distinction between one and another has disappeared. Identities have vanished and become one. Sufis who experience this, due to being in a state of self-annihilation, no longer have rational consciousness and thus speak in the name of God.
In such a state, Bayazid spoke ecstatic utterances as we have discussed in the previous video.
According to Bayazid Bastami, gnosis, marifa, generally involves the act of detaching oneself from worldly matters and ascending towards the realm of angels and the highest level, al-Mala, al-Allah. This is evident in his explanation of spiritual ascension or mirage that he narrated to us. The mirage experienced by Bayazid is like a dream we have while sleeping. Bayazid dreamed as if he ascended through several heavens towards God in order to communicate with him and be with him forever. Bayazid tells us, "When I arrived at the celestial heavens, a green bird spread its wings and flew with me towards the ranks of the angels. Then there was an angel who, difficult to describe with words about its nature and essence, offered something to me. I said, 'My purpose for coming here is not to seek what you are offering me.' After that, I was flown to the second heaven. The offer in the first heaven was repeated. I rejected the offer again because my goal was not to seek what was being offered. Shortly after, from my subtle substance, sir, arose a burning longing, causing the angels and the trees of light around them to appear like mosquitoes in my restlessness. The angel still offered something that is very difficult to describe with this tongue, and every time the offer was made, I still answered that this is not what I seek."
When God noticed how earnestly Bayazid was concentrating towards him, the angels elevated him to the seventh heaven. From the seventh heaven, he was brought to the footstool until he entered the divine throne.
As Bayazid's earnest desire to meet God became more apparent, he called out to him, "O my beloved, come closer, sit upon the expanse of my sanctity." Bayazid said, "At that moment I melted like wax in fire. Then the spirits of the prophets welcomed my arrival, including the spirit of Muhammad. The spirit of Muhammad said, 'O Abu Yazid, truly God has honored you, so you are more noble than any other creature.'" Bayazid described, "I always remained in that state until I felt again the situation before creation. In another wording, I have annihilated myself and then existed in the state before I was created, namely pure non-existence." This is Bayazid's view on self-annihilation, al-Fana, as introduced to us. Based on the depth of thought we grasp from that expression and various other expressions, Bayazid is considered as the first to describe the state of self-annihilation and to initiate the idea of self-annihilation, based on his experience in Sufism. In this regard, Bayazid states that he was in the realm before creation. This means that he was still in the realm before he was manifested in the world or in the realm of the spirit. In respect of it, Bayazid quotes the covenant verse, "And when thy Lord took from the children of Adam, from their loins their progeny, and made them bear witness concerning themselves, am I not your Lord? They said, Yea, we bear witness, lest you should say on the day of resurrection, Truly of this we were heedless." According to Ibn Arabi, Bayazid belonged to a special category known as the people of the Quran, as being among the chosen ones of God. What set them apart was their meticulous preservation of the Quran in their memory and actions. The Quran was deeply ingrained within them not due to mere study, but because it was directly revealed to them by God. Bayazid explains that he was able to endure in his spiritual ascent because he practiced renunciation, tajrid, of all things except God, lightening himself from the burdens of the physical and sensory. Bayazid's spiritual ascent can be said to resemble Plotinus because they both narrate to us that the ultimate goal is nothing other than to behold the One, to be annihilated in Him, and to unite with Him. Spiritual ascent to achieve unity, al-Ittihad, and self-annihilation, fana, as well as freeing oneself from sensory matters to become a mystic, is according to Plotinus something light or not burdensome.
Of course, the ascension experienced by Bayazid is different from the ascension experienced by the Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad's ascension was not preceded by various prerequisites of renunciation as carried out by Bayazid.
Bayazid found asceticism to be effortless, having practiced abstinence for 3 days. On the initial day, he renounced worldly attachments. On the second, the hereafter, al-Akhirah, and on the third, anything apart from God. When asked about his will, Bayazid responds, "I will not to will, for I am the object of will and you, God, are the one who wills." Bayazid establishes the principle that the true essence of asceticism is the renunciation of all things except God. When questioned if the Gnostic disobeys God, Bayazid responded by quoting the Quranic verse, "God's command is a decree determined." According to Ibn Arabi, Bayazid's response exemplified the correct attitude, as he neither affirmed nor denied. Bayazid seems to imply that even the Gnostic is not exempt from God's decree. We cannot reject Bayazid's view regarding God's predetermination, nor can we attribute the violation of God's laws to the Gnostic who experiences divine revelation. Therefore, it can be inferred that God causes the Gnostic to perceive sin in a favorable light through an interpretation also facilitated by God, which includes a true aspect allowing the Gnostic to feel that they are not transgressing a prohibition. According to Ibn Arabi, when the Gnostic commits a sin, he is unaware of its sinful nature, as this realization only dawns upon them after the action has been taken. Bayazid expressed, "There was a time when I laughed and a time when I cried, but now I neither laugh nor cry." When asked about his state in the morning, he replied, "I do not experience morning or evening. Morning and evening pertain to those who are defined by attributes, and I possess none." Morning symbolizes the east, where the sun rises, representing the manifest, while evening signifies sunset and the concealed. The Gnostic is akin to a blessed olive tree, neither of the east nor of the west. In this station, the Gnostic shares in God's incomparability, as affirmed in the Quran, "Naught is like unto him, and glory be to thy Lord, the Lord of might, above that which they ascribe." The words morning and evening here denote that the Sufi has no dominion over time. Rather, they are subject to time, while for God, time is an attribute. Bayazid presents himself with 2 aspects. On one side, he transcends all stations and states, akin to God's essence, which is unrestricted. Yet, on the other side, the absence of attributes signifies his limitation in comparison to God, who governs the world through his attributes. This first aspect has led some to criticize Bayazid for asserting divine status for himself. Ibn Arabi rejects the accusation that Bayazid claimed divine status by making such statements. According to Ibn Arabi, Bayazid was too elevated to entertain such an interpretation of himself. Ibn Arabi regards Bayazid as belonging to the people of blame, Malamiyya, the perfected Gnostics, and the verifiers. Therefore, it's not surprising that Ibn Arabi refers to him as the great Bayazid Bastami. Ibn Arabi's reverence for Bayazid could have stemmed from the narrative wherein God said to him, "Go out to my creatures with my attributes, so that whoever sees you will see me." Ibn Arabi interprets that sentence as signifying the manifestation of God's attributes in Bayazid.
Bayazid emphasizes on multiple occasions the non-existence of human being, a point central to Ibn Arabi's mystical philosophy.
In Bayazid's perspective, will, irada, implies the absence of will, which he expressed through his statement, "I will not to will, uridu an la urida." Bayazid justifies this concept by stating, "I am the object of will, al-murad, and you are the one who wills, al-murid." Recognizing that the object of the will, being a possible thing, is non-existent, he refers to himself as non-existent and ascribes existence, and thus will, solely to God. As observed, the direct communication between God and Bayazid serves as a significant testament to Bayazid's stature in Ibn Arabi's eyes. One of God's words to Bayazid, "O Bayazid, come close to me," serves as a foundational concept in Ibn Arabi's understanding of the relationship between God and his creatures. Due to his bewilderment about how he could come close to God, God said to him, "Leave yourself and come." Leaving oneself signifies moving away from the state of servitude, which implies a distance from God. However, leaving oneself also entails the emulation of God's attributes, and through this emulation, both God and human beings can meet. Presumably aware of the paradox inherent in the directive to leave yourself, Ibn Arabi makes an intriguing distinction between servitude and the recognition of oneself as a servant. Ibn Arabi explains that while servitude entails a separation from God, the recognition of oneself as a servant entails closeness to God. Thus, the same state of servitude encompasses two conflicting aspects, closeness and distance, depending on the perspectives considered. Ibn Arabi likely alludes to this duality when he remarks, regarding the directive, "Come close to me," that the essence of closeness is here similar to the essence of distance.
Lastly, it is intriguing to explore Bayazid's perspective on the miracles attributed to saints.
When asked about the ability to fly through the air, Bayazid responded, "The bird flies through the air. However, in God's eyes, the believer is superior to the bird. So how can an act which is common to the bird be considered a miracle?" Ibn Arabi divides saints' miracles into two categories, abstract and physical miracles, and considers flying to be a physical miracle. Most people only know the latter. For the elite, the abstract miracles, which involve the perfect embodiment of morality, spirituality, and knowledge, are superior to the physical miracles. With reference to Bayazid's statement, Ibn Arabi regards knowledge of God and the afterlife as the most sublime gift, constituting the greatest miracle bestowed by God upon humans. Thus, Ibn Arabi emphasizes that a true saint is characterized by piety and divine knowledge. Physical miracles, which may involve deception, do not define this category of saints. Quote, "I'm not surprised by my love for you, but I am amazed by your love for me. For you are the Almighty One, and I am merely a lowly servant."
Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.